I'm for ending this thing once and for all. Quit playing with it. Quit playing with them. Quit trying to negotiate your way to peace, because with these people, it ain't going to work. They refuse. They refuse to negotiate like that. And they come to this nation, and now they're serving in offices in our nation which shouldn't be. And they come here want to enforce their Sharia law and all that kind of nonsense on a constitutional America. And there's so many people who are swallowing that malarkey. So many people who are swallowing that swill and that hogwash. And I'm here to tell you, America didn't become America by negotiating with terrorists and by playing patty cake with them. We didn't become America like that. We didn't become the free nation that we're in because of that. We became a free nation because, like we're talking about today, like we've read and like the history books tell us, we became a free nation because of people who are willing to pay the price and willing to pay the sacrifice, and that we're not going to allow this other nonsense to take our freedoms away. It's time we get back that attitude in America. A warmonger? No, I'm not. Only when it's necessary. It's necessary. It's time to take the gloves off and end this thing, and we have the capability of doing it. That's the sad part. We have the capability of doing it. We have the power to do it. But yet we want to play patty cake, and we want to negotiate. And listen, people say, oh, but there's going to be a lot of innocent lives that will be lost. I understand that. I know that. And that's sad. And that's tragic. But sometimes that's what's necessary. I was watching a documentary a few weeks ago on Hiroshima and Nagasaki when they dropped the atom bomb. You talking about sad? My dear God, have mercy. They had footage and stuff of the aftermath. And it's sad. There was children involved, women involved, all kinds of people, innocent civilians that were involved. But listen, that's because the choices their own government made and put them in the midst of. I sat there, and there were some of them who survived. They were children, and they survived, and they were telling their stories. And I sat there and cried. It's heartbreaking. It's sad that it came to that, but I tell you one thing, it ended the war. Sometimes it's those kinds of things that have to be, those tough decisions have to be made. People probably say, well, it's a good thing you ain't president. It probably is. Because I might make a bigger mess than what we've already got. But what I'm saying is, you can't negotiate with the devil. He ain't going to negotiate with you. He ain't going to compromise with you. You can't negotiate with the enemy. You can't compromise with the enemy. And if you're going to have complete total victory, you got to get out of that compromise mode and get into that committed mode and that conquest mode. Because Israel learned. They learned their ways and they worshiped their gods and the idol gods of those who they compromised with. They learned how they did things, learned their ways. And they picked up. You know, we're being called now a multicultural nation. That has some positive, but it has some negative aspects to it. And we're being called a multicultural nation, which means, you know, we're all supposed to compromise. And you're supposed to lay down your uncompromising beliefs in the Word of God. Kind of like Hillary Clinton said a few years ago, well, the church is just going to have to lay down some of their beliefs. They're going to have to compromise some of their beliefs. And they're going to have to accept some of these things that they have to be accepted. We're going to progress. If we're going to be progressive. Here's my favorite Greek word for that. Nonsense. We ain't, Hillary Clinton, hear me, we ain't compromising. Some of us ain't. We're not going to compromise. We're not going to try to change what the Word of God says. We're not going to compromise on that. We're not going to back down on that. I don't care if it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump or whoever it may be, Donald Duck or anybody else. We are not going to compromise on the Word of God because it leads to defeat. They forgot the warnings of Moses. They forgot the warnings of Joshua, who had just passed. They forgot the warnings that God had sent to them through these men and these leaders. It has been well said. The one thing that we learn from history is that we do not learn from history. The one thing that we learn from history is that we do not learn from history. If we learn from history, a lot of things would be different. And things would even be much better in a lot of respects.